being privatized or vouchering Medicare. And by the way, our Congressman, Preston Hardy, has voted multiple times to privatize Social Security and voucherize Medicare. So aside from that, aside from fighting to make sure that not only we protect it but expand it, I believe, as two of my colleagues mentioned, invest in infrastructure. To create jobs. It would rebuild some of our aging buildings, our roads. It would help us diversify our economy here in the state of Nevada. And speaking of diversifying the state of Nevada, we need to invest in making college more affordable. Congressman Hardy voted twice to cut the Pell Grant, to slash the funding on the Pell Grant. These are the same Pell Grants that I depend on to go to college, that some of your kids or grandkids are going to depend on to go to college. Again, I'm not rich. I didn't have a college saving funds paid for me. I had to work full time and depend on the grants to go to college, which is the reason why in the state legislature, as a state senator, I passed the first ever grants for low-income students to go to college. So today, 1,400 students are going to college thanks to those grants. Now, how does that relate to our economy? It's been said, and I was the chairman of the Economic Development Committee in the Senate, that if you invest in education, we're going to be able to entice new businesses to the state of Nevada, and we're going to be able to have a well-trained and well-educated workforce to fill those jobs in the future. Because it doesn't help us if we entice a tech company to Nevada if we don't have the well-trained and well-educated workforce. So investing in education is investing in the future of the state and investing in diversifying our state. And right now, I can say this, Congressman Hardy is wrong with this district, and we need to make sure that we vote him out. Thank you so much.
I think the number one issue facing Congressional District 4 is campaign finance reform. And as a congresswoman fighting for campaign finance reform and hopefully a constitutional amendment to repeal Citizens United, because Preston Hardy is now occupying the seat because dirty money came into Congressional District 4 and got him elected. And he's not representing you because he's representing the people who elected him. And so I had made a pledge at one of our previous debates for transparency to release all of my donors on a weekly basis. I think that we need to take steps so people understand who is supporting congressional candidates and that we're held accountable, and we're held accountable to the people who elect us. So that's my number one priority. And I too think, and especially for communities like here, is developing and focusing on our infrastructure. Economic development is so incredibly important to towns and our rural communities. And so many times we have a pay-to-play type of role, where we require investors to come in and invest in the infrastructure they need to develop. And that in and of itself limits rural development. We have so many problems with water in Pahrump and accessing water. It's going to cost $500 million to possibly deal with our water resources. And so I think really taking a stand and looking at infrastructure investment, not only hard infrastructure, but also our technological infrastructure. So those are two issues that I'd be a champion of. Thanks.
I just wanted to ask everybody if you hold your applause after each candidate speaks, otherwise we're going to be here for a long time. So please hold your applause. On this question and all subsequent questions, the first candidate that is asked the question will have 2 minutes. Subsequent candidates will only have 1 minute. So our next question goes to Dan. And there are Americans who feel that voter ID laws promote voter suppression, making it more difficult for some voters to enter the polls. Can you please express your opinions on such laws?
I do agree with the statement that voter ID laws suppress voters, and I think that the Republican Party loves to institute voter ID laws. And I will take this opportunity to